Have you ever felt like something big is about to happen, but you can't quite explain it? Like the universe is silently shifting pieces into place, preparing for a moment that could redefine your life forever? Right now, without you even realizing it, forces beyond what the eye can see are moving. Doors you thought were locked are beginning to open. Opportunities you never imagined are silently drawing closer. But here's the catch. You won't recognize the shift unless you're paying attention. It could be hidden in a simple conversation, a passing thought, or even a sudden burst of inspiration. One small action, one choice, could be the key to something extraordinary. Pause for a moment and think, have you noticed anything unusual lately? A sense of anticipation, a strange feeling of clarity or peace, even when nothing seems to have changed? What if these are not just coincidences, but signs that something life-changing is on the horizon? The real question is, are you ready to step into the unknown? In the next few moments, we'll explore a truth that has the power to shift everything you thought you knew about your life, your purpose, and your destiny. Stay with me, because what's coming next is more significant than you can imagine. What if today is the beginning of something you've been waiting for your entire life? What's about to happen? I feel led to share a powerful revelation about the spiritual shifts taking place in our lives. Something extraordinary is unfolding, even if you haven't fully recognized it yet. Recently, you made a decision, spoke a word, or held on to a quiet moment of unwavering faith. And that single act set in motion a profound transformation in the spiritual realm. It wasn't by chance. It wasn't random. It was divine alignment. There is a universal principle at work known as the law of assumption, a spiritual truth that goes beyond wishful thinking or hopeful expectations. It's about embodying the reality of what you seek as though it already exists. You stepped into this truth, perhaps unknowingly, when you chose to trust beyond what your eyes could see. That trust became a spiritual catalyst, unlocking a pathway of abundance that was always meant for you. I believe this shift began with something seemingly simple, a thought, a prayer, or a moment of deep inner conviction. The spiritual realm doesn't require grand gestures. It responds to the quiet certainty that God is working behind the scenes. Your action aligned with divine principles, activating a flow of blessings that has already been set in motion. The magnitude of what's coming may be beyond comprehension, but the spiritual groundwork has been laid. When we talk about spiritual abundance, we're not just referring to material wealth. It's about a wholeness that touches every part of life, peace that surpasses understanding, relationships that thrive, and opportunities that align perfectly with your divine calling. The beauty of this process is that you don't have to force it. The energy of your belief has already prepared the way. Even if your current reality hasn't visibly shifted, trust that change is happening beneath the surface. The physical world often lags behind the spiritual realm. What's unfolding in your favor is not a future possibility. It's a present reality that is waiting to manifest in perfect divine timing. You've already done your part by believing, trusting, and acting in faith. Now it's time to walk boldly into what's already yours. Reflecting on this truth fills me with awe. I am reminded that faith is not passive. It's a living force that reshapes destinies. When you move with the conviction that what you seek is already yours, you activate the law of divine abundance. Your thoughts, actions, and energy align with this spiritual reality, drawing blessings toward you effortlessly. This journey of spiritual transformation isn't about perfection, it's about trust. Trust that God's timing is impeccable and that your steps are guided. Trust that the seeds you've planted through faith and perseverance are about to bear fruit in ways that exceed your expectations. You've already shifted into a higher spiritual frequency where possibilities abound. As I share this, I feel deeply connected to the collective journey we're all on. You are not here by accident. You were chosen for a purpose far greater than what you can see right now. The shift you initiated through your belief and spiritual alignment is setting the stage for a life marked by divine favor, limitless abundance, and profound fulfillment. Hold on to this truth. What you've already activated in the spiritual realm is real. The abundance you seek is not just a dream, it's a certainty. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that every step is guided, every delay is purposeful, and every blessing is on its way. You've done something extraordinary by aligning your heart, mind, and spirit with divine possibilities. Stay expectant, for the best is yet to come. I'm reminded of an undeniable truth. You are chosen. This isn't a label or a temporary identity. It's a spiritual calling deeply woven into the fabric of your existence. Being chosen means that your life is guided by divine purpose. Even during seasons when clarity feels distant or life feels uncertain, there's a profound orchestration at work, and your presence here is intentional, guided by forces far beyond what the human mind can fully grasp. I feel compelled to speak this truth because there comes a moment in everyone's spiritual path when the calling becomes unmistakable. It often begins with a stirring in your heart, a subtle yet persistent awareness that you are meant for something greater. It's not about worldly recognition or personal ambition. It's about aligning with a divine mission that has been set for you long before you took your first breath. You were chosen not by chance, but by divine design. This awakening is not always dramatic. Sometimes it reveals itself quietly in moments of stillness or reflection. You may have felt an inner nudge, an unshakable sense that you are being guided towards something meaningful. This is the voice of your higher calling, urging you to recognize your role in a spiritual narrative much greater than yourself. You may not fully understand what lies ahead, but the mere fact that you are aware of this calling is proof that divine alignment is already taking place in your life. I've often reflected on how this process unfolds. It begins with awareness, but deepens when you consciously declare your readiness to receive what has already been prepared for you. There's something powerful about making that declaration, not just in thought, but in spirit. When you step into this spiritual truth with conviction, you align yourself with divine will. You shift from wondering if you are chosen to knowing that you are, and that knowing changes everything. Declaring readiness is not about perfection or having all the answers. It's about surrendering doubt, fear, and resistance. It's about standing in the fullness of your identity as a divine creation, trusting that everything meant for you will find its way into your life when the time is right. This declaration is not a one-time event. It's a daily spiritual practice, a way of living that aligns your heart and actions with the higher calling placed on your life. As I speak these words, I feel the weight of this truth in my own journey. There have been moments when I doubted, questioned, or felt unworthy of being chosen. But even in those times, the divine call never wavered. It remained constant, waiting for me to remember who I truly am. That same truth applies to you. You are chosen, guided by divine purpose, and destined for impact far beyond what you can see right now. Take a moment to breathe in this reality. Feel its weight and its grace. You were created with intention, chosen to fulfill a purpose that only you can complete. This isn't about striving or proving your worth. It's about accepting the truth of who you are in the eyes of the divine. Every experience, every challenge, every victory has been part of this unfolding journey, shaping you into the person you are meant to be. Today, I invite you to fully step into this calling. Acknowledge that you are chosen, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. Declare your readiness to walk in alignment with divine purpose, knowing that you are supported, guided, and deeply loved. You were never meant to walk this path alone. You were meant to rise, shine, and fulfill the sacred mission for which you were created. The journey has already begun. Now it's time to embrace it with unwavering faith. These changes are subtle at first. A growing sense of peace, a quiet but firm confidence, and an undeniable feeling of expectancy. They are not the result of external events, but arise from a deeper spiritual awakening, a recognition that something greater is unfolding beneath the surface of life. Even when circumstances appear unchanged, these internal shifts are powerful indicators that transformation is already in progress. I've experienced this myself and have seen it in the journeys of many others. It begins with a feeling, a deep, unexplainable calm that takes root even when life seems uncertain. It's not the kind of peace that comes from everything going right, but the kind that exists despite challenges. It's as if your spirit knows that something important is happening, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. This peace acts as an anchor, holding you steady as divine processes work behind the scenes. Alongside peace comes a newfound confidence. It's different from ordinary self-assurance. It's a spiritual confidence that feels unshakable. It's rooted in knowing that you are being guided by a higher power. This confidence isn't about having all the answers or being immune to setbacks. It's about trusting that whatever happens, you are prepared to navigate it with strength and wisdom. You begin to move through life with purpose, feeling supported even when you can't see the full picture. Expectancy is perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this inner transformation. It's not the same as wishful thinking or hoping for a specific outcome. It's a quiet, persistent knowing that something significant is coming. You might not be able to explain it, but you sense that divine timing is at work. This expectancy creates a powerful energy within you, influencing how you think, speak, and act. You start to carry yourself differently, as though you are preparing to receive what you've been waiting for. What fascinates me most is how these internal changes often precede any visible signs of transformation. On the surface, life might seem unchanged, even stagnant, but inwardly, there's undeniable movement. It's like planting seeds underground. You can't see the growth happening, but you trust that the roots are spreading deep and strong. This spiritual process reminds me that the external world often mirrors the internal one. When we align our hearts and minds with peace, confidence, and expectancy, the world eventually reflects those qualities back to us. I've come to understand that these inner changes are not random. They are divine signals that the manifestation process has already begun. When you feel that deep peace, it's a sign that your spirit recognizes divine alignment. When confidence rises within you, it means you are stepping into the truth of who you were created to be. And when you live in a state of expectancy, you align yourself with the flow of blessings that are on their way. These shifts are not always easy to explain to others. People might not see what's happening beneath the surface, but you know something has changed. You find yourself less reactive, more centered, and less concerned with external validation. You stop chasing outcomes because you trust that what's meant for you will arrive in perfect timing. This trust creates a magnetic energy that draws the right people, opportunities, and experiences into your life. Looking back, I realized that the moments when I felt the most peace, confidence, and expectancy were often the times when the biggest breakthroughs were just around the corner. At the time, I couldn't always connect the dots, but in hindsight, the spiritual process was clear. These inner changes were preparing me for what was coming, helping me rise to the level of the blessings I was about to receive. Even now, I recognize that these internal signals are invitations to trust the process more deeply. They remind me that transformation begins long before it's visible. They encourage me to stay grounded in faith, knowing that what I feel within is more real than any temporary external situation. The peace, confidence, and expectancy I carry are not just emotions. They are spiritual markers of progress, guiding me toward a future already set in motion. So if you've noticed these inner changes within yourself, trust that they are not random. They are divine indicators that something extraordinary is unfolding in your life. Even when the outside world seems unchanged, know that the spiritual work has already begun. The seeds have been planted, the roots are growing, and the harvest is coming. The transformation you sense within is the first evidence of the blessings that are making their way into your reality. As I reflect on the power of unwavering certainty, I'm reminded of how transformative belief can be. It's not just about hoping or wishing for something, it's about embodying the absolute certainty that what you seek is already yours. This shift in perspective changes everything. It realigns your energy, your mindset, and even the actions you take. There's something powerful about stepping into a place where you no longer question if something will happen, but instead trust that it already exists in the spiritual realm, waiting to manifest in perfect divine timing. This level of certainty isn't rooted in external validation or immediate results. It comes from a deep spiritual knowing that transcends what the physical world shows you. I've experienced this countless times. When I chose to trust fully, even when nothing seemed to be changing, doors opened in ways I couldn't have predicted. The law of assumption works because it responds to what you believe with absolute conviction, not what you merely wish for or imagine. When your belief becomes your reality internally, the external world has no choice but to align with that truth. What makes this process so profound is the way it transforms your entire approach to life. When you embody certainty, your thoughts, words, and actions naturally reflect that inner state. You stop operating from a place of lack or desperation because you know you've already received what you desire in the spiritual realm. This shift is magnetic. Opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere, relationships transform, and solutions to challenges seem to find you effortlessly. All because your inner reality is one of completion and fulfillment. I've noticed that embodying certainty also changes how you interact with time. You stop anxiously waiting for things to happen because, in your heart, you know they already have. This trust in divine timing creates a peaceful expectancy. You no longer measure progress by how quickly things materialize because you're anchored in the assurance that what's meant for you is already on its way. This calm, grounded energy makes you resilient in the face of setbacks because you know delays are only temporary adjustments in the unfolding process. There's something deeply liberating about living from this place of certainty. You stop chasing after opportunities and instead attract them effortlessly. People notice the change in your energy, even if they can't explain it. There's a calm confidence that radiates from within, making you a magnet for the very things you've been seeking. It's not about projecting false confidence or pretending everything is perfect. It's about genuinely knowing that what's yours cannot be taken away or delayed indefinitely. This certainty isn't about ignoring reality or denying challenges. Life will still present obstacles, but when you are anchored in the belief that you've already received your blessings, challenges lose their power to shake you. They become temporary conditions that you navigate with grace, knowing that your desired outcome is inevitable. You don't need to see every step of the path because your faith assures you that the way forward will be revealed when the time is right. Looking back, I see how many breakthroughs in my life happened after I chose to live from this place of certainty. It wasn't about forcing outcomes or trying to control circumstances. It was about aligning my mind, heart, and spirit with the truth that what I desired already existed. This alignment made me more patient, more focused, and more open to receiving what was meant for me. I realized that certainty isn't passive. It's an active state of being that requires trust, focus, and consistency. What amazes me is how this mindset doesn't just change your personal reality, it affects the lives of those around you. When you embody certainty, you become a source of inspiration and encouragement for others. They see what's possible through your example, even if they can't fully understand the spiritual process at work. Your unwavering belief creates a ripple effect, spreading positive energy and opening doors for others in ways you may never realize. Even now, I remind myself daily that certainty is not about seeing results immediately. It's about knowing that results are inevitable. The seeds of every desire have already been planted in the spiritual realm. My job is to nurture that belief with faith, patience, and consistent action. Every time I choose certainty over doubt, I'm aligning with divine abundance and inviting miracles into my life. This truth guides me, grounds me, and propels me forward with unshakable confidence. Building on this idea of shifting from scarcity to abundance, I've noticed how this internal transformation reshapes not only my personal experience, but also how others respond to me. It's almost as if the energy of abundance becomes contagious. When I started living with a mindset rooted in divine provision, people seemed naturally drawn to my presence. Opportunities appeared, connections deepened, and even seemingly difficult circumstances began to resolve themselves in unexpected ways. This wasn't just coincidence. It was the result of embodying a new spiritual frequency that attracted alignment, favor, and ease. What stands out the most is how this shift altered my interactions with others. When you're no longer operating from a mindset of lack, you stop seeing people as competition or obstacles. Instead, you recognize them as fellow travelers on their spiritual journey, each blessed in their unique way. This perspective brings a sense of generosity, not just with material resources, but with time, kindness, and compassion. You become more willing to uplift others, not because you expect something in return, but because giving feels natural when you believe in limitless abundance. I found that relationships transformed in ways I never expected. Strained connections seemed to soften, misunderstandings cleared up, and new friendships formed with remarkable ease. This wasn't because I worked harder at relationships. It was because the energy I carried shifted. When you radiate trust, peace, and confidence, others can't help but respond in kind. It's as if they're drawn to the light you now carry, even if they don't consciously understand why. The very act of living in alignment with divine provision creates a space where meaningful relationships can flourish effortlessly. As this energy continued to flow through my life, I noticed how challenges that once felt insurmountable began to lose their intensity. Obstacles became temporary pauses rather than permanent blocks. I found myself responding to difficulties with greater calm and clarity, knowing that divine support was always present. This awareness allowed me to approach problems with creativity and resourcefulness, often discovering solutions I couldn't see before. The shift from scarcity to abundance changed how I interpreted and navigated life's inevitable ups and downs. One of the most beautiful aspects of this transformation is how it extends beyond personal experience. When you live in abundance, you naturally create a ripple effect that touches the lives of those around you. People sense your groundedness, your unwavering belief in possibilities, and your openness to life's gifts. Without speaking a word, your presence becomes an example of what living in alignment looks like. It inspires others to reevaluate their own beliefs and consider what might be possible for them. I realize that this ripple effect isn't limited to direct interactions. The energy of abundance moves through every action, every conversation, and every intention you set. It expands outward in ways that are often unseen but deeply felt. It's like casting a stone into still water. The initial impact creates ripples that extend far beyond the point of contact. Living in abundance means becoming aware that your energy is never contained. It continuously influences the world around you. As this awareness deepened, I began to see how abundance is not just about receiving. It's about becoming a vessel through which blessings flow. The more I lived in this energy, the more naturally generosity flowed from me. It wasn't about sacrificing or giving to earn something in return. It was about recognizing that abundance multiplies when it's shared. Every act of kindness, every moment of encouragement, every opportunity I supported came back to me in unexpected and beautiful ways. Looking back, I can see how this entire process reshaped my approach to life. I no longer viewed success, love, or fulfillment as limited resources to be earned or competed for. Instead, I saw them as infinite blessings, always available and ever expanding. This realization brought a profound sense of freedom. There was no need to cling tightly to anything or fear losing what I'd gained, because true abundance cannot be taken away. It only grows when shared. Even now, I remain in awe of how much can change when we step into this spiritual truth. Living in abundance isn't just a personal experience, it's a collective one. It uplifts not only your life, but also the lives of everyone you encounter. It transforms how you see the world and how the world responds to you. It's a continuous cycle of giving and receiving, flowing through every moment, every connection, and every possibility yet to unfold. This understanding of trust goes beyond a mental exercise. It becomes a way of being. When I truly embrace that divine provision is constant and unchanging, something shifted deep within me. I no longer felt compelled to figure everything out or strive endlessly to secure what I needed. Instead, I found myself resting in the quiet assurance that God's promises were already at work. This trust wasn't passive. It empowered me to move through life with purpose, clarity, and unwavering confidence, even in uncertain times. I remember moments when life felt like an uphill battle, when nothing seemed to be working despite my best efforts. It was during those times that I realized trust isn't about avoiding difficulties. It's about staying grounded through them. Trust means walking forward with faith, even when the path ahead is unclear. It means releasing the grip of control and allowing divine timing to unfold, knowing that every delay holds purpose, even if I can't see it yet. What surprised me most was how trust reshaped my relationship with time. Before, I often felt pressured by timelines and deadlines, anxious that opportunities would slip away if I didn't act fast enough. But as I leaned deeper into divine trust, I began to see time as fluid, not fixed. I understood that what's meant for me cannot be missed or delayed when I'm aligned with God's will. This realization brought a sense of freedom I hadn't known before. a release from the need to rush or force outcomes. Trust also redefined how I approach challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, I started viewing them as redirections, signs that something better was being prepared. This perspective didn't eliminate difficulties, but it changed how I experienced them. I found strength in surrender, not because I gave up, but because I stopped resisting what I couldn't control. Trust anchored me in peace, even when circumstances felt uncertain or unstable. As this new mindset took root, I noticed how my energy shifted in powerful ways. There was a lightness in my spirit, a quiet joy that came from knowing I was supported by something greater than myself. This inner transformation radiated outward, affecting how I interacted with others. Conversations felt deeper, relationships grew stronger, and even passing encounters carried a sense of connection and purpose. Trust, I realized, is a force that moves through every interaction, creating ripples far beyond what I could see. It became clear that trust wasn't just about waiting for good things to happen. It was about actively living in expectation of them. When I approached life with trust, I found myself taking inspired action with less hesitation. I no longer feared making mistakes or missing opportunities because I knew that God's plan was always unfolding perfectly, even when I couldn't see the full picture. Trust freed me from indecision and replaced it with a sense of guided certainty. Another unexpected shift came in how I experienced blessings. They no longer felt random or coincidental. They felt intentional, like gifts perfectly timed for what I needed in each moment. This deepened my sense of gratitude, not just for the blessings themselves, but for the journey that led to them. Trust transformed how I received, reminding me that abundance isn't about accumulation, but about alignment with divine provision. Reflecting on this journey, I see how trust creates space for miracles. It opens the heart to possibilities that go beyond what the mind can imagine. It removes the limitations of doubt and fear, making room for divine guidance to flow freely. Trust became my spiritual foundation, a steady, unshakable belief that everything meant for me would arrive, not through struggle, but through grace. Even now, trust continues to shape how I move through life. It's not something I practice occasionally. It's the lens through which I see the world. Trust reminds me that I'm never navigating life alone. It assures me that divine provision is constant, even when circumstances seem uncertain. This trust is my anchor, my compass, and my greatest source of strength, guiding me toward a life of purpose, abundance, and deep spiritual fulfillment. This understanding of gratitude as a spiritual force reshaped how I viewed every experience in my life. It wasn't just about being thankful for obvious blessings, but about recognizing the divine orchestration in all things, both the joyful and the challenging. Gratitude became a way of perceiving the world, allowing me to see abundance even in moments that might have otherwise seemed ordinary or difficult. It awakened a deeper awareness that every experience holds purpose, even if its meaning isn't immediately clear. I began to notice how gratitude created a sense of fullness within me. It wasn't dependent on external circumstances. It came from acknowledging the constant presence of divine provision. Even when life felt uncertain, expressing gratitude helped me focus on what was already working, shifting my attention from lack to abundance. This inner fullness changed how I moved through life. I felt lighter, more open, and more willing to embrace new possibilities without fear of loss or failure. The shift wasn't just internal, it began to manifest outwardly as well. I found that when I approached situations with a grateful heart, solutions seemed to appear more easily. Conversations flowed with greater understanding, and unexpected opportunities surfaced when I least expected them. Gratitude acted as a bridge between my inner world and the outer reality, aligning circumstances in ways that felt almost effortless. It was as though the act of being thankful created space for even greater blessings to flow in. As this awareness deepened, I also became more conscious of the energy I was putting into the world. Gratitude inspired me to give more freely, not out of obligation or expectation, but from a genuine sense of abundance. Whether it was offering my time, sharing resources, or simply being present for others, giving felt natural and fulfilling. I realized that gratitude and generosity are intertwined. The more I gave with a grateful heart, the more deeply connected I felt to the limitless flow of divine provision. One of the most transformative realizations was that gratitude doesn't erase challenges. It reframes them. Instead of seeing difficulties as setbacks, I began to see them as opportunities for growth and refinement. When I chose gratitude in the face of adversity, something powerful happened. Fear and doubt lost their grip. I could acknowledge the struggle while still trusting that something valuable was being formed through the experience. This perspective brought a profound sense of peace, even in uncertain times. I also noticed how gratitude strengthened my faith. The more I acknowledged what I already had, the more I believed in what was yet to come. Gratitude became a declaration of trust, a way of affirming that even unseen blessings were already in motion. It reminded me that divine timing is always perfect, even when life unfolds differently than I had planned. Gratitude kept my heart open and expectant, ready to receive whatever came next with grace and acceptance. This shift in perspective also transformed how I celebrated success and abundance. Instead of clinging to achievements or fearing they might be temporary, I allowed myself to fully enjoy and appreciate them. Gratitude grounded me in the present, helping me savor life's blessings without anxiety about the future. It turned each moment into something sacred, reminding me that life itself is the greatest gift of all. As I continued to live in this space of gratitude, I saw how it influenced my relationships. People responded to the energy I carried. Conversations became more meaningful, connections deepened, and even casual encounters seemed infused with kindness and understanding. Gratitude created an atmosphere of warmth and mutual respect that seemed to touch every interaction, often in ways I couldn't predict or explain. Reflecting on this journey, I see how gratitude is more than a response to what we receive. It's a way of being. It's an acknowledgement of the infinite abundance that exists all around us, whether visible or unseen. It's a choice to live with an open heart, trusting that everything we experience is part of a divine process, leading us toward greater fulfillment and purpose. Gratitude isn't just an emotion, it's a spiritual practice that aligns us with life's highest possibilities. Trusting God's timing has been one of the most transformative aspects of my spiritual journey. It's not about passively waiting or surrendering to circumstances. It's about cultivating a deep, unshakable belief that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This trust has taught me that delays aren't denials, but divine pauses meant for refinement and preparation. It's in these waiting seasons that I've experienced the most profound growth, even when it felt like nothing was happening on the surface. I can recall moments when I felt ready for certain breakthroughs, only to encounter unexpected delays. At first, frustration would set in, and I'd question whether my prayers were being heard. But as I leaned deeper into trust, I began to see those delays differently. They weren't there to punish me or hold me back. They were there to strengthen me, to shape my character, and to prepare me for what was coming. Trusting God's timing required me to let go of my need for control and lean into the process with faith. What surprised me most was how trusting the process shifted my entire perspective on time. I stopped measuring progress by how quickly things happened and started focusing on how deeply I was being prepared. It became clear that every delay held a purpose, even when I couldn't see it in the moment. There were lessons being woven into my life, lessons that would become invaluable when the answers finally arrived. I realized that divine timing is never rushed but always perfect. As I embraced this truth, I noticed how much peace it brought into my life. I no longer felt consumed by impatience or the fear of missing out. Trusting God's timing grounded me in the present, allowing me to fully engage with where I was, rather than fixating on where I thought I should be. This presence opened my eyes to the blessings already surrounding me, things I might have overlooked had I been solely focused on what was next. Trusting divine timing also reshaped how I approached opportunities. I learned to discern between what felt urgent and what felt aligned. Not every opportunity that presented itself was meant to be pursued, even if it seemed promising. This discernment came from trusting that I wouldn't miss what was truly meant for me. It gave me the courage to say no when something didn't resonate, and the patience to wait for doors that felt divinely appointed. This trust extended into my relationships as well. I stopped forcing connections or trying to make relationships work out of fear of being alone. Trusting God's timing in this area taught me that the right people would enter my life when the time was right. and that I had to be willing to release anything that no longer aligned with my spiritual growth. This mindset created space for more authentic, meaningful connections to blossom naturally. One of the most powerful realizations I had was that delays often came with unexpected blessings. When certain plans didn't work out, I later saw how those detours led me to something far greater than I could have imagined. There were moments when the closed doors felt like setbacks, but in hindsight, they were redirections towards something better. This perspective helped me trust the pauses, knowing that divine timing was orchestrating something beyond my understanding. I've also found that trusting the timing of my journey makes me more resilient. Setbacks no longer feel like failures, but like stepping stones towards something greater. When things don't go as planned, I'm able to find peace in knowing that the process is still unfolding, even if it's not on my preferred timeline. Trust has become a source of strength, helping me navigate uncertainty with grace and courage. Even now, I remind myself daily that divine timing is always working in my favor. Every delay, every closed door, every unanswered prayer is part of a larger plan that's being carefully woven together. Trusting the process doesn't mean I have all the answers. It means I trust that the answers will come when the time is right. This trust is the foundation of my faith, guiding me forward with hope and expectancy, even in the waiting seasons. When we align ourselves with divine purpose, something remarkable happens, not just within us, but around us. Our energy shifts, radiating outward in ways we may never fully understand. It's not about forcing change or seeking recognition. It's about embodying a state of being so rooted in faith and trust that our very presence inspires and uplifts others. I've seen this play out in my own life. There have been moments when simply living in alignment, holding on to peace, showing kindness, or trusting in divine timing sparked changes in the people around me. Sometimes it was through direct conversations where words flowed naturally, offering comfort or insight I didn't realize someone needed. Other times it was more subtle, a sense that my calm energy helped someone else find clarity or reassurance without anything needing to be said. What amazes me is how effortless this process can be when you are spiritually aligned. You don't have to preach or persuade. Your life itself becomes a quiet testimony of what is possible through faith. People notice the light you carry, even if they can't quite define what it is. There's a sense of authenticity that resonates on a deeper level, inviting others to explore their own spiritual potential simply by being in your presence. I've come to understand that this ripple effect isn't limited to close relationships or intentional acts of service. It extends far beyond what we can see. Every action taken from a place of spiritual alignment, every act of kindness, every moment of patience, every choice rooted in love, creates waves of positive energy that spread outward. These ripples touch lives we may never meet, influencing people and situations in ways we may never realize. There's something deeply humbling about knowing that the energy you carry can uplift others without your conscious effort. It's a reminder that spiritual work isn't just personal, it's collective. When you choose to live in alignment with your higher calling, you contribute to the greater good in ways that transcend physical boundaries. It's as though your light acts as a beacon, drawing others toward hope, inspiration, and transformation. I've also noticed how living in alignment attracts opportunities that align with your spiritual path. Doors open unexpectedly, and meaningful connections form with people who share similar values and visions. These encounters often feel divinely orchestrated, as if the universe is responding to the energy you're radiating. The more aligned you are, the more synchronized your external reality becomes, reflecting the inner harmony you've cultivated. What stands out to me is how this ripple effect can ignite change in the lives of others without requiring them to share your beliefs. Spiritual energy transcends labels and doctrines. It speaks to the soul on a universal level. It's not about convincing anyone to follow a particular path. It's about living your truth so fully that others feel empowered to seek their own. I've experienced this through seemingly ordinary interactions, moments where a smile, a kind word, or even just holding space for someone created a shift. Sometimes people would later share how those simple gestures made a profound difference in their lives. These experiences reinforce the power of presence, the idea that just being fully present and aligned with divine energy can be a transformative act in itself. Looking back, I see how these ripples have come full circle in my own journey. There were times when someone's quiet faith, resilience, or compassion touched my life in ways they'll never know. Their spiritual alignment inspired me to keep going, to trust more deeply, and to live more authentically. It's a beautiful reminder that we are all connected, part of a divine network of souls supporting and uplifting one another in ways that often go unseen. Even now, I find comfort in knowing that the work I do within myself, choosing faith over fear, love over judgment, trust over doubt, extends far beyond my personal experience. Every step taken in alignment with divine purpose contributes to the collective light of humanity. It's a powerful, humbling realization that keeps me grounded and inspired to continue walking this path with openness, grace, and unwavering trust. It's not just about receiving blessings for personal fulfillment. It's about becoming a vessel through which those blessings can flow into the lives of others. The abundance I experience is connected to something much greater than myself. It's a divine trust meant to be managed with care, intention, and gratitude. I've come to understand that abundance isn't just about material wealth. It encompasses every form of prosperity, love, wisdom, opportunities, and even spiritual growth. Each of these blessings comes with a responsibility to share, uplift, and contribute meaningfully to the world around me. When I receive, it's not solely for my benefit. It's a call to extend that abundance outward in ways that create lasting impact. This realization reshaped how I view success and fulfillment. I stopped seeing abundance as something to accumulate and started seeing it as something to circulate. Holding on to blessings tightly only creates stagnation, but when I release them with trust and generosity, they multiply in ways I could never anticipate. The act of giving becomes an extension of gratitude, an acknowledgement that everything I have comes from a divine source and is meant to be shared. There have been moments when I felt overwhelmed by the responsibility that comes with abundance. It's one thing to receive blessings, but it's another to manage them wisely, ensuring that they serve a higher purpose. I've learned that this responsibility isn't about perfection or meeting unrealistic expectations. It's about being intentional and aligned with divine guidance. Each act of giving, no matter how small, becomes significant when done with a sincere heart. I've also seen how abundance creates opportunities for leadership and influence. When you live in a state of abundance, others naturally look to you for guidance, inspiration, and support. This isn't about seeking recognition, but about stepping into the role you've been prepared for. Abundance positions you to lead by example, to demonstrate what it means to live with purpose, integrity, and compassion. The way you handle blessings speaks volumes, often more powerfully than words ever could. What resonates deeply with me is the idea that abundance creates a ripple effect. Every time I choose to give, support, or uplift, the impact extends far beyond the immediate moment. A simple act of kindness, a shared resource, or a supportive word can spark a chain reaction of positivity that touches lives I may never know. This interconnectedness makes every blessing both a gift and a responsibility, a call to contribute to the greater good with every opportunity I'm given. I've experienced moments when giving felt uncertain or even risky, yet each time I gave from a place of faith, trusting that what I released would return in divine ways, unexpected opportunities and meaningful connections emerge. Giving didn't just bless others, it expanded my capacity to receive, creating a continuous flow of abundance. Being entrusted with abundance is deeply humbling. Life's blessings aren't ours to keep. They're meant to be shared, multiplied, and invested through acts of love and service. This responsibility grounds me, reminding me to use what I've been given with intention and purpose. I no longer see abundance as something I earn, but as a sacred trust, meant to be managed wisely and shared generously. Every opportunity becomes a chance to serve something greater than myself, reflecting my spiritual alignment through how I give and live. Even now, I approach each day with open hands and an open heart, ready to receive and give in equal measure. True abundance isn't defined by what I possess, but by the impact I create. Knowing that each blessing has the potential to spark lasting change,